are watching overtime. You're watching overtime. So make sure you let one of your friends know. Forward this out to everybody. Let people understand that, we are going live right now, and this is going to be about 20 minutes of 20 minutes, and it will be the most enlightening part of their day today. The most 20 minutes that will illuminate their heart and their mind, all for the sake of being better people, growing closer to God, and building some kind of unity and community. So I was thinking today about the time. Did I ever tell you about the time I got my license suspended and got pulled over by the police when my license was suspended? I never told you about that. So let me tell you guys about this first and foremost. I got a ticket. It was just a basic speeding ticket. I was doing, X amount of miles an hour in an X amount lane, just like anybody else. So I get this ticket, I take the ticket home, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and challenge this ticket because I just felt like that if I went to court, the cop wouldn't show up to court. So I was like, I'm going to challenge this ticket, even though I was guilty as all get out. And it was a super busy time of my life, super busy time. It was during the season, and the season are like 12-hour days. When you play professional sports, you got like from 6 in the morning till 6, 7 o'clock at night, every day leading up until game time, and then travel. And it was the back end of the season. I remember now, it was the back end of the season as well. So as time went on, it would, from time to time, cross my mind, hey, man, you got to take care of this ticket. Hey, man, you got to take care of this ticket. But because I wanted to go into court to challenge the ticket, I didn't have the time to. I was like, I'll wait till after the season, and then I'm going to go into court and I'll challenge it. Well, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, the season's over, and I forgot that I got this outstanding ticket. So I was driving, and I remembered, like, oh, man, you got to take care of this ticket, Terrell. So I took the ticket. I went online to try to find out where I could pay for it, and I went online to try to do all this stuff. And on the ticket said I had to appear in court. It said like there was no dollar amount. And I'm thinking I'll just get the dollar amount and I'll pay for it and I'll be done. There was no dollar amount. It was like, you got to appear in court. So it was the weirdest thing. I'm thinking, all right, I'll just go down and I'll show up at court in a couple days. And while I was kind of preparing to go to court, I got pulled over again. So I get pulled over, the guy comes and he's like, hey man, you realize your driver's license is suspended. And I'm like, suspended? I'm like, no, I don't mind having 2 tickets on me, but I didn't realize it was suspended. So he starts asking me like, what, why didn't you just go get the ticket taken care of? So I gave him the long story. Man, it's busy. I'm trying to do this, and I'm trying to use every tool I got to get out of getting this ticket. Oh, I'm a Charger player. Oh, we had practice. Oh, I'm hurt. Oh, my neck, my back, my head. All the kind of stuff. I'm trying to use it just so he'll get me out of this ticket. He said, hey, look, I'm going to give you this ticket, but your license is suspended, and you got a ticket for speeding, a ticket for driving with a suspended license, right? And you got to go to court to get this other ticket taken care of. So I'm like, okay, it is what it is. I'm guilty. Thank you. Let me go. He's like, whoa. You got a suspended license. You can't drive this car. So I was in a dilemma. I picked up the phone. I said, well, I don't want y'all towing my car. He said, well, you got to call somebody to come get it. I said, okay, no problem. I called my buddy, who I was terribly not far from. I was actually on my way to the barbershop. That's where I was. And I called the guy down at the barbershop. I said, hey, man, my barber, I said, hey, man, you think you can come pick me up? Because I got pulled over. I got a ticket. Long story, blah, blah, I get my car. And I'm thinking to myself, just come down here, because if you come down here, it's just going to be you and me, and then somebody's car is going to get left. So all I really want to do is just buy my time till this police officer leaves, and then I'm going to jump in my car and I'm going to take back off. right? Well, the thing was, the cop sat there and waited. And he waited for my friend. And I'm thinking like, man, I can't get out of here. I can't do what I want to do because somebody's watching me do what I really want to do. And it was all because I didn't take care of my business before that moment. So when my guy gets there, he's like, the police are still here, so we got to leave one of these cars. It looked absolutely crazy to the cop. I think he knew what we were going to do. I jumped in my friend's car, drove off with him, left my car there, and he was like, you could have did that, from Jump Street. And, of course, went back later, got my car. But that's a whole nother story. I finally went to court, got everything squared away, taken care of. They bought my excuse, so they took away the suspension. They took away, I just had to pay a fine, and everything worked itself out. But I told that story because the reason why I was in this mess was because, and it wasn't like I didn't know I had this ticket. I knew I had this ticket. I knew I had to take care of this ticket. I knew I had stuff I had to take care of. But I had so much other stuff going on in my life that even though the ticket was important, I never took the time to focus on the other part of my life that I needed to take care of. I had to work. I had to make sure I was prepared. I wanted my body squared away. I had to do all these things. And even though I did have off days where I could have done it, I was focused on everything else in my life except for another aspect of my life that was important. And consequently, it almost got me in a lot of trouble. Fortunately for me, it didn't get me in trouble, but it almost got me in a lot of trouble. But nonetheless, I want to talk today about focus. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about focus. I want to know where your focus is for 2021. What are you focusing on, and what are you intentionally focusing on? Because the success of 2021 is not going to be centered around being able to do stuff. It's going to be centered around being able to do the right stuff, the right things. And the right things are going to demand your focus. It's going to demand your intentionality. It's going to demand that even though you got a bunch of other stuff happening, this is going to be the year you've got to be ambidextrous with your focus. You got to be able to do stuff with your left hand and your right hand, with the left side of your brain and the right side of your brain. You got to be able to do this and do that all at the same time. And where I went wrong in my situation, I went wrong in that situation because I was so singularly focused that other things fell off the radar. That ticket being one of them fell off the radar. And I wonder how many things fall off your radar because we're not ambidextrous, because we're not able to use both hands, because we're not able to be a good employee and a good spouse at the same time. Or let me rephrase that, we're unwilling to develop that aspect of our lives for us to be good at more than one thing. So 2021 is one of these years where the stuff is not going to stop coming. The stuff is not going to stop coming. So, and I'm not like trying to be prophetic or nothing like that, but I see us in kind of still in the season, even though the calendar changed, I still feel like we're in the season of it. And what we've got to do in this new calendar year is we're just going to have to focus on our goals, focus on the stuff that we want to produce out of this year in this season, that this is just going to be a year where we're just going to have to dig in and focus, at least this first part of this year. And so I want to push on you guys because I want to ask you, what are you focusing on? What have you determined you're going to focus on? Are we going to do this year like we did last year? Just kind of ride it and see what happens, and I'll make my decision after, life does something that forces my hand on making the decision? Or are you going to be intentional? Are you going to go into 2021 intentional, focused on goals, focused on the what you want to develop, or what you want to build, or what you want to lay the foundation to? Can you be focused on that? Can you be focused on fixing stuff that you broke and repairing things that you undid? Can you be focused on building your integrity? Can you be focused on fixing in this season as well, while at the same time building? So this just strikes me already. This year already strikes me as a year where life is not easing off the gas. It's just not easing off the gas. And some of y'all can say amen to that. Already, 10 days in, 2021 has jammed his foot down on the gas pedal and it's going. And you've got choices and decisions to make, because guess what? We're almost halfway done with this month. We're almost halfway done. It's like the 10th, the 11th. We're almost halfway done with January already. So what are you focusing on? What's your mind? What are you going to fixate? What are you going to put out in front of you for you and your family and for your children and, to chase? Your business. What are you setting out there to chase? How are you evolving? How are you adapting to the new world that we're living in? Are you spending more time on your camera? Like all of us should be spending more time talking like that. I don't care what you're selling right now, because you can't go out on the corner and sell it, and you can't, go and draw people to it. All of us should be finding a way to build relationship in the digital space. So what shifts for you? What are you going to go after? What are you going to chase after? I'm encouraging you to chase after it. I'm telling you this, you got to chase after it. You have no choice but to chase after it. Because some of y'all watching, you might not even have jobs out there to go to in 2021. So much is changing, and God forbid that's the case, but it's happening. So what else are you capable of giving this world that can be a blessing to you and be a blessing to the world as well? What else have you been working on? Don't get caught like me, so focused on building this that I forgot that I had responsibilities to the world in other ways. For me, that was just a small example, it's just a ticket. But there are other ways that we have responsibility to the world. So I want to push on you. I want to push on you to make this year a year of focus. It's what I told my church, that this is going to be a year of focus. And I pray that God divinely shows you what you should be spending your time and your energy and your resources on, and that you would spend 2021 steadfast toward pulling it off. That you spend 2021 with pristine vision and focus to getting it to pass. So some people say being stubborn is bad, and I'm telling you that I think in 2021 it's going to take almost an anointing of obstinance and stubbornness to keep pushing it, because the world still wants to give you your blessing. The world still wants to reward your work. The world still wants to reward your adjustments. But we got to push it. And while all this crazy stuff, don't you get caught up in the news cycles. You hear what I'm saying? Don't get caught up arguing with, some weirdos that, are on the extremes of one end or the next. Don't you get caught up. Watch this. Don't get caught up chasing after something that feels good in the moment because you can. Don't get caught up doing that. Remember what God told you. Remember what's been in the recesses of your heart and your spirit, and let's focus on it this year. And I'm holding myself accountable. I got some goals and some things that I want to pull off by the end of 2021 that are very doable, and they're within my wheelhouse, but I got to be about it this year. So I want y'all to be about it. Get it done, and let's make 2021 a year where we all look up at the end of this year and we're proud of the way we were focused in the chaos, right? We were focused in the busyness. We were focused in the smoke, and we still came out, all right?